Hey, and thanks for joining us on this week's episode of For All Things Lexington, the only show dedicated to Lexington, South Carolina, and where a spade is always a spade. Here we'll talk to and about people, places, groups, things to do, and places to go in and around Lexington, South Carolina. I'm your host, Angela Barrett, and this is For All Things Lexington. Brought to you in part by JoviStreetBridge.com, Columbia's most unforgettable free-to-list business directory. Hey guys, today I have with me Jeff Pitts, who is part of the duo Prettier Than Matt. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and congratulations, a new baby.
Yes, she is 17 days old.
Yes.
And,
wow.
Growing so fast. That's what they say.
Yeah. Getting any sleep?
See, I'm not really one to ever ask that question. I never sleep anyway. I'm a terrible sleeper. I'm kind of conditioned for some reason to be like, okay, it's 1 o'clock. It's not bad. 4:30. I probably should go to bed at 4:30. And I kind of get to bed at 5 o'clock. I get uncomfortable, and I'm like, I need to go to bed. I better go to bed.
I'm probably up before you're awake. Before you've gone to bed.
And before our daughter Jovi came, that's her daughter's name. Before she came, Sarah would be the one to get up kind of early, and sometimes we meet on. She'd be going to work, and I'd be going to bed.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get better at that. I mean, I got a little better. It's kind of up and down. I'll be like sometimes going to bed at 1, thinking I'm doing pretty good. Which that to me is a reasonable late. Like, I think most people could say it's not crazy. It's like I'm 6'5". I'm not crazy tall. I'm just tall.
Yeah.
1 feels like normal late. You know what I mean?
Right.
So hopefully I get on some kind of train there. But I'm doing okay. She is getting less sleep than ever.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because she's she's more important in the role right now than I'll be.
Yeah.
And and I feel bad for her. So just trying to learn to do it.
Well, enjoy it.
We are. There's nothing. I mean, it's like I told my brother, who's like, how expensive is it to have a baby? And he was like, and how hard is it? And we're like, it's not hard. It's like the things that you would think if some stranger was doing would annoy you. When your daughter's doing it, it's not annoying.
Yes.
I'm not wiping pee off someone else's leg. But it's okay here. We're fine with it. Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
My thoughts on fatherhood.
That's right. Fatherhood. Enjoy. You're from Florence.
Yes.
I am originally from the big metropolis of Dillon.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we would have not crossed paths. You're so much younger.
Dillon, I used to go to Dillon sometimes. I had a girlfriend that lived out there. And so I go see her family sometimes. And then I just knowing it was right there south of the border. So that's how it always knows.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
We were better at football than we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was a big football town, or it still is, I think. Yeah. Now you and Jessica Skinner make the Prettier Than Matt band.
Mm-hmm.
How long have y'all been together?
13 years, going on right on 14 in March.
Wow.
It's pretty long time for a band, actually.
Yeah.
But,
now, how did y'all meet? How did y'all end up playing together? I mean, did you know each other? Or?
We met each other at Wet Willie's. I was playing with my friend Charles Riley, who's still a friend of ours. He plays with Prettier Than Matt too on bass when we do a full band. Sometimes we do that. He plays bass with us. And me and him did a thing called the Jeff and Charles Show when Jess was on her maternity leave, which was 4 months. And so I met her though one night. I was kind of new to doing music as a full-time job. I've been playing since 1999 in a band called Public Outcry and then a band called D-Level, which is the same band that kind of morphed into a new name and members changed and all that. But I was doing that with your typical like restaurant jobs. And I went to became a mechanical engineer and I got laid off. And right around the time I got laid off, I was like, no, I'm going to go full on music and do nothing else. And then 2 months later or so, I had been trying to go play guitar with people, not sing, but play guitar with people. And I played one night with Charles Riley and Jess knew him. She had met him randomly pretty recently before that. And so she just came to see him and she was by herself. And I saw her by herself. So I started talking to her. But it wasn't like I wasn't hitting on someone. I was just talking to her. And she kind of got that vibe that I wasn't. Like we were just chatting. And so it was kind of just a weird meeting with someone. And then our mutual friend of both of us, Jason Carrion, he plays in the band Isabel's Gift.
Mm-hmm.
He told me she could sing. And we were like, well, let's jam sometime. Then she just came and jammed. And then just so happened, I remember this. I don't know if she remembers this. I ran into her like the next couple days. We were playing a show and she was there. Just by chance saw us play. And then I was like, you should come help us do this. And so she kind of just started off as singing harmony and doing some lady-led songs and some of the rock songs we were doing. But then me and her started playing together. It was a side project. We had no band name, and we were doing open mic nights, and it just kind of became the job. And the level became the side project until it was gone. And me and her still do this. So it was.
So now, how did you come up with the name Prettier Than Matt?
We did not come up with the name. Never been good at that. But no, we were playing the place used to be called Kelly's. Now it's the Aristocrat.
Uh-huh.
We played there for open mic a lot, and the bartender Jeremy wanted to book us. I'm name dropping everyone in town in case they see this. I didn't forget. We remember everyone. Everyone's cool, and he's still killing it out there doing stuff. But he nickname was Hoss. But he was always there. He was the guy that booked their shows for him. He wanted to book us for something that was actually going to pay us. We're like, whoa, pay? Wow. And then so he actually out loud said the name. We were on stage. He said, what's your name? And he said, I'm going to call you Prettier Than Matt. And that's because the bassist name was Matt. And he would see me and Matt or me and Jessica. So he just said she was prettier than Matt. It wasn't a knock on Matt or anything. We try to make that clear too. We love Matt. He's and it's always been something where you got to feel like you got to defend it a little bit. Like, no, we're not insulting Matt. It's just the name came up because it was kind of funny the way you said it. She's also prettier than Jeff. But I'm in the band, so I'm not gonna call the band.
Yeah, I get it. That's
in a weird way. Funny. It was a way to have Matt because he was kind of my guy. We both worked together in Drain Place. We were always like discussing what's the next move, what can we do. We would sometimes. I remember going to Wendy's and we drew out a stage plan to put. We used to really work on this stuff a lot and talk about all day at work. So I thought to myself too, it's a way to keep him kind of a part of this. He's not in the band. I haven't played with him at all in a few years, but it's still, I think of Matt when I think of my longest running musician friend other than Jessica.
You're right.
That I've ever had Matt. So it's, yeah.
Well, that's cool. Now you guys released an album in 2021 named Colors.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was our favorite. I think both of us think that's our favorite that we've done.
Yeah. And now how many other albums do you have?
Kind of a tricky question. It's like, so we currently sell 5 CDs at shows and 2 vinyls. One of the vinyls and CDs are the same. And one of the vinyls is its own thing, but it's songs from the other 3 CDs. And one of the CDs is a cover CD. So we have currently selling 2 full-length albums, or albums as in CDs.
Yes.
I came up in the 90s. You called everything an album.
Right.
It was not a
vinyl days.
Yeah. And now it's vinyl's actually back. You're like, well, album's actually now it's vinyl again. But we have 2 full lengths and we have 2 EPs. And then we have a covers CD. The cover CD we only put out on CD. We had it on Spotify for a while only too. We pulled that. Now it's just available as you can buy the disc. And when those are gone, they're gone. We just did it as like a little fan service thing. We thought we did like an online poll, what songs to play, and we chose the top 8 of the 16 we had chosen. Because we chose songs that we did differently, not the ones that we just duplicated the recording. And so we currently sell 4 original CDs, 2 original vinyls, and then we've taken two off the table. We had an album called Play Pretty was our first. It was a demo. We did the whole thing in we did the whole thing in 5 hours. And it sounded good, but it just, we redid all those songs throughout the other records eventually. And then we had a Christmas album that we just pulled. So,
oh, that's cool.
So I guess that means we've done 7 CDs and then the 2 vinyls. And the vinyl called Retrograde, it's like our favorite songs that we'd recorded for the first 3 records we did, and 1 new song, and then we did a tape for it as well. Cassette tape. So we have a cassette tape and a vinyl that's not on CD, but the songs are all
play
on
cassette
CD.
Tapes now.
You can, if you have like an old Corolla, I don't know. I mean, I can't. I actually tried to do like a little vintage like stereo setup in my living room before, and I bought 3 tape players that all said they worked. None of them worked.
Yeah.
Like I found record players. I found a great 6-disc CD changer but could not get that. It's frustrating. I want a cassette player if you're
Yeah, I was going to say, anybody listening? Now, y'all just have a new song, Better Me.
Better Me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's that about?
Jess wrote it about our daughter, Piper.
Yeah, she's a cutie pie. I've seen her in pictures.
Yeah. She met my daughter 2 days ago. It was pretty fun. It was too much for our hearts to take. But no, the song is about Jess would describe it as just the joy of becoming a mom from her perspective. I mean, yeah, it's like, and I can relate to this. See, if we had done this song 5 years ago, I would have been like, "Oh, I'm sure it's great," but now I feel it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Doesn't it change overnight?
Yeah, it's crazy. Everything is. It's a good feeling. It's a good change, though. It's not something like someone's like, "Are you not used to it?" They asked me last night. We played a bar, Twisted Roots. And someone said, "Are you not used to having a kid?" I was like, "No, I'm used to it already." It's hard to believe more than not used to it.
Wait till they get 30.
I would never have thought this was going to happen. I'd have been like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm 43, so I was kind of a late bloomer on this. So it was like, okay, this is my first, and it's Sarah's first, too. So.
Yeah. So does this mean that you guys are working on a new album if you've got this new single out?
Well, no, we kind of experiment. When we put the single out, we thought we would do... The modern way people are doing stuff is putting out singles, not albums. I don't like that at all. I can't stand that. I want to put out CDs. I want to put out albums. I know that they say you don't sell that physical anymore. But, for the bands at shows, the best means of income is buying a CD. Or we sell one vinyl record at a show. That's as much as like 100,000 streams. Yeah. So it's like, you make more money. And we still do all the digital stuff. But we decided we would try to do something different and do a single and then probably do another single. And then eventually, maybe 2024, put out a CD that has those singles on it. But we are working on, we have a little personal goal of money we're saving up from shows. Like we don't save the money we're getting paid from the venue. We just basically have the tip jar that's also the merchandise money. And we do a portion of that, always goes into a savings account. We have a goal for that account to get to a certain number. And then when that happens, we're going to start our book studio time. And so we'll do another one next year, probably an EP. It'll have Better Me on it, I'm sure. And there's another song she wrote when she was waiting for Piper to be born called Waiting on You. And that song's really good. And I really want to record that. And I've got a million verses written of songs, but no, I haven't finished any of them. That's kind of how I work. I play it. I go, I like the way this sounds. I'll go look back at this later, and then I'll finish it later. And they're all positive though. See, when the last record, they were all kind of bummers. This is towing the line of really cheesy because they're all nice little sweet songs. They're like, well, now what do you do?
Well, it's just that time for both of you. I mean, Piper's what?
20 months, about to be 20, yeah.
Not
Piper's,
quite 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that rolls right into the question I was going to ask about who writes the songs and it's a two-parter. Who writes the songs? And I'm sure both of you, but does the music come first or do the lyrics come first?
I'd love to have a direct answer on that part. I grew up, my shirt would say, I've always been a Bon Jovi fan. And hearing them say they always wrote titles first. Remember hearing that before?
Huh.
And we have no method. The most common is one of us will bring something we did on our a voice memo on the phone. And then the other one will fix it to be more like what a Pretty in that song would be. And sometimes it's more of a complete idea. Sometimes it's less. The first thing we ever recorded or released, a song called Miss You, that song was one that I just played chords and she just sang. And that's how the song was written. Now, we both play and sing on the song, but it came from just her making up words on the fly to the chords. And then eventually after she had a pattern, a melody, she wrote new words and we finished the song. So, but there's been some songs that are more written by her, some more written by me. And if you hear us singing the song, it's more likely we wrote the lyrics, but not always. That song that you mentioned may not be the same. That song's about my mom passing away. And so that song, Jessica's kind of singing things my mom would say. So that was right now was kind of with her and my brothers. We're like, what did mom say? What did mom do? And we put these in the words. So when Jess says a line, that's actually more of kind of my mom speaking, but things she would say.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty proud of that one. That came out exactly how I wanted. I never thought it would, knowing that I had this idea for like overlapping melodies that were different to go on top. Like this kind of one's not over, but a new one begins, and it keeps doing that. Like
Right.
And it came out just how I wanted it. Though it was like sweet.
Yeah, that is a sweet story as well. Now, what about that song, "Flower in the Sidewalk"? What's that about?
Okay, so we did. Okay, so during the height of the pandemic, there was I can't remember their name, but there was a group of nice people in North Carolina who were trying to do guy-girl duos only, and they were phone call telemarketer. I'm not going to answer telemarketer in the middle of the podcast. It's not important. So, but they were a company called I wish I could remember their name, but they were making a vinyl, and with the vinyl they were saying everyone record, and we'll give everyone who's on the project like $10 per sale. And so it was just helping people who weren't playing live as much make some money. And so they wanted songs, and we thought to ourselves, well, we want to do a new song. We don't want to just send them an old one. And that was the song that we sent them. We wrote that in an afternoon about 3 years ago. It was in June 3 years ago. And I know that because Time Hop, I had the Time Hop app, and it keeps showing me. And I saw a picture in June of that. But and the song is Jess had a book of just lyrics and stuff, and she found a poem she wrote right around 2013 called "Flower in the Sidewalk," and it was the words to the song for the most part, but it wasn't a song yet. And so we just sat that afternoon and just played chords and arranged it for it to be a song. And I love that song. We actually put it first on the CD. I mean, we knew that
it's a good one.
It's not one we planned to push like a single kind of thing, but I think it's a perfect, because that's almost like if we were important enough to say a concept album that mattered, that's for us, that's what that record is. It's like a concept album. It's like, as we're telling a story, that song is simply about everything that crosses your path is how you're affected by the life you have. Like, and she's saying she's a flower in the sidewalk, and the people passing by, she keeps saying everything about it is just who crosses your path and makes you become you or your story or whatever. And then with that CD as a whole, that was a good start for Eminem the album Colors, because it says in that song, let my colors show. That came from the song Flower on the Sidewalk, the album title. But then I had the songs I wrote more of, and she had the ones she wrote more of. And hers were kind of positive songs. They were all, she just got engaged and all these things. Life was going well. And then my mom had just died. So we had like actually, she got engaged the same week my mom died. So 2 days before. So it was like, so it's kind of like a fork in the road of like, this sucks, this is great. And so you put them together, and it kind of made like what we were going through as people.
Sure.
Which it's like a thing that you're happy you needed to write it. And we don't know who's heard it. We tried so hard to get people to listen to it, but we don't know. I mean, because people find like our old stuff, and they've listened to our old stuff for a while. And we heard the new record yet? No, not got around to it. Just listen to it. I promise. Just try it out. And they just don't. People just don't try. I don't know.
Creatures of habit.
It's that you find a band. I mean, for bigger bands, I know how they always say the old stuff's good. That's not the case here. The new stuff's good, y'all. I'm telling you.
Listen to the new stuff. It's good. And I think that's the beauty of music. I mean, music tells a story, and is usually very personal to the songwriter, at least, if not the person singing it or playing the music, which is why I love music. I mean, you can find anything to fit the mood that you're in.
Yeah. I've always gravitated towards the sad stuff more. Like it's I'm not into a lot of the stuff that's just the positive, shiny music, even though a Bon Jovi fan, they're pretty optimistic. But they've got dark stuff too. They got really dark stuff that's actually, this record here is my favorite ever, and it's dark. But like it's just because it's kind of like even if I'm happy, I like the sad stuff because it reminds you of a place. I don't know. And I saw someone last night on Facebook wrote a post about how why can they only write songs when they're depressed? And I was like, well, that makes sense though, because when you're depressed, you're dying to get the words out and say something. And if you're happy, you want to remain happy. So you want to keep doing the happy stuff. Yeah.
Well, I think that's when, at least for my mother, who is, she paints, and it's for her, it's very emotional. If somebody would say, hey, can you paint me so-and-so? Well, the next time it hits, it's very emotional for her. So, but I think the creativity maybe flows for you guys who have the talent to write and do all that painting?
I like to think that, we could just do it. But, and I guess how our time usually works is we say, well, we have to do a record, so we're going to book studio time now. Let's get these songs written. But we're looking back at lit up my phone, my voice memos. I mean, thousands and thousands of voice memos.
Right. The ideas are kind of there.
So you listen back and you go, oh, I like that one. You kind of check it and then you keep going and then you focus on 3 of them and then you decide what you're going to make of the 3 or 4.
Sure.
And I have friends who write songs and acquaintances every day. And I'm not sure about their method's got to be, that's the way they do it's cool. I just can't, if I write something and you hear it, that means I at least liked it enough to do it. It doesn't mean it's actually good. I have no idea. But it's something that I'm proud to, share versus a song about Miller Lite or something.
Yeah.
I can't do it. It's just.
Right.
We've tried to write some songs we consider jokes, and we can't ever play them for people because we're we did a song that's kind of see how easy this kind of song would be to write.
They're pretty. If you listen to the storyline in it, they're pretty. I'm not going to say deep, but you can tell there's a meaning there.
Yeah. And
thanks for hanging out with us today, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or have a person, business, idea, an event that Lexington needs to know more about, email me, local@forallthingslexington.com. That's the number 4, y'all.
This episode was brought to you by the real estate agents at Home Matters, building on service, relationships, and on what matters to you. Find out how you matter and how they can help you with buying and selling your home at homematterssc.com.